From KMUW Wichita.
From Toronto, Ontario.
And from Armenia, Spain.
This is You're Saying It Wrong. Let's talk words. Let's talk literary pet peeves. Look, you can't change the words on the page. Or can you? I'm Fletcher Powell, host and producer at KMUW in Wichita, Kansas, and joining me, as they do each week, language experts and New York Times best-selling authors Kathy Petrus and Ross Petrus.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Ross. We have a lot of different things to talk about today. Before we really get going, though, I want to just say thank you to Bay106, who left us a wonderful review on Apple Podcasts. Bay106, that's B-A-E, by the way. 106 says, these three bring such appreciation of how we all communicate. Super smart, relatable, and hilarious. And then a little heart emoji.
I think we should heart her back, or him. Let's heart Bay.
And keep those reviews coming as long as you like us. If you don't, you don't have to bother.
Just keep it to yourself.
Last week, we talked a little bit about food, sort of. We talked about different words for people who love food and eating and knowing about food. One of the words that we brought up was foodie, and I expect that got a big reaction from a lot of you, but the first one to get into us was Tim from NYC.
Yeah, Tim really didn't like it at all, did he, Ross?
No, he didn't.
He wrote, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to side with those who don't like the term foodie. I think it's infantilizing as opposed to tantalizing. We don't call a book lover a bookie, or a film buff a filmy, or a sports fan a sporty. The Germanic side of our language is great at creating descriptive phrases. So food lover or food buff or food nut all work for me. I do use foodie pejoratively, as in the foodies are buying up all the quinoa.
that was a great
got
line.
a real knack on this one,
I like
tell you. Go,
read
Tim.
the last line, though. I love the best.
Yeah, I know you like this. He said, on the other side, I think gourmand is pretentious and, as you said, ambiguous in its meaning. Glutton is a great word. And, of course, there's always pig.
Indeed.
But it was really interesting because when Tim wrote that, we looked at it, and at first we were both inclined to kind of go, yeah, you're right, it is infantilizing. Then I think leading from bookie, we started thinking about it. And first of all, a book lover is not a bookie, but we very confidently will call someone, when you're placing a bet, a bookie. And that began us thinking about other diminutives of IE or I or Y that aren't infantilizing at all. I mean, go to a race course and you'll talk to a jockey. Then you'll make a bet with a bookie. And then from a Canadian perspective, we also wrote to Tim when Binnington backstopped Canada on that big victory in Feb. He was a goalie, which we don't, I mean, you could also say goaltender, goalkeeper, but goalie is a very common word. You don't think of that as infantilizing.
And caddy in golfing.
Precisely. And then baby.
That was the one Ross came up with, and I thought that was brilliant.
It comes from babe.
Yes, although infantilizing, I would say.
That's true. But we were thinking about it. But so I don't think we both think that very confidently that foodie is going to go the way of goalie, etc., where it's generally accepted.
Yeah, but you did say specifically that there's a lot of controversy over all of those words, but foodie particularly. I mean, a lot of battles on food forums and that sort of thing about whether people ought to use the word or ought not to use the word.
Right, we did say that.
This kind of just illustrates that.
Yeah. But it is interesting because at first we both thought, yeah, it's pretty much all of those diminutives, except for names, obviously. Kathy for Catherine or whatever. Yeah. But we thought that it was pretty much, we didn't think really. And then suddenly realized there are words that are, basically in general use. Although goalie is sort of, I mean.
No, you say goalie. People say goalie all the time.
Oh, they do all the time. But I'm saying like if you're writing some sort of like tax form for, people who are playing hockey, you're going to write goal.
What is your occupation? Goalie? I
agree.
think
Because I think these words are ones that, the ones we're talking about, like bookie or goalie or jockey, are so regularly. You don't say jock. You do about a jock as in like a
Yeah.
athlete,
Oh,
but
jockey
you don't
is
call
really...
you don't call a horse rider anything but a jockey.
No, to go back to our tax form, you're going to say I'm a racehorse jockey.
Yes.
On the tax form. I don't know
you
this
probably
tax
do,
got
right?
it to me.
If that's what you do. That's probably what you write.
Yeah.
Isn't that
exactly.
odd? Yeah, I never thought of that. People, what they write on their tax forms. Yeah.
Yeah. I know this
You
tax
don't
form. I
write.
don't know
You
what
don't usually write bookie though.
No,
So,
no. No, I don't think you do.
or numbers runner. Do they have
No.
them anymore?
No. But on your tax form, you may write like, my baby, blah, 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 too. You're not going to write my babe. So that has a different meaning. Babe now has a completely different meaning. So
I think about foodies specifically. I don't know that I would go around calling other people foodies unless they had called themselves that first. I just don't think I would. But if somebody else calls themselves a foodie, who am I to say you're infantilizing yourself?
I think you're right. I think the problem is with foodie is as Tim said, he uses it pejoratively, and I do think that that's often the case. You use foodie as he said, the foodie's buying up all the quinoa. I refer to my husband and myself as foodies a lot because we like food a lot.
Yeah, you call yourself.
yeah.
So like if somebody's calling themselves that, then what else?
Okay to use.
Yeah, what else am I going to call them?
I really, as long as we take our vitamins or whatever, it'd be fun to be here in 100 years and see if foodie is generally, used or eat right, so we can find out.
I think it is. I think it's extending already. I think we're seeing that. We're still seeing the ferment, if you will.
That's what I think too. Well said, Kath. Ferment is good. It's a good food
Thank you.
related
It's
word.
a food term.
Yes, exactly. Sauerkraut and foodie. Yes.
Okay, so we're done with foodie.
Yep.
Thank you, Tom.
Forever. Yes.
Yes, right. And thank you for the quinoa line and the glutton.
I like the pig line the best. Yeah. Go on.
Okay, should we move on?
Yes.
Okay, the next thing, it's another mailbag that we just got a kick out of, so we had to share this. It was a mini pet peeve addendum email, as we called it, from our listener, Matt, who wrote that one of his personal pet peeves, as opposed to, as he put it, the more standard fare, is jabberwock.
Okay, stop for a second. Does Fletcher know this should give Fletcher a clue. You want to see if Fletcher knows the clue?
I believe he might have seen the email, so.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm a bad spy. Yeah. Okay, go on. Yeah.
This is why Ross does not work for the CIA. Or does he? Okay, Jabberwock. He wrote, the creature is not called Jabberwocky. He is the Jabberwock. Mm-hmm. The poem is called Jabberwocky. The dang Johnny Depp movie got this wrong and called the creature Jabberwocky. So that got us thinking. Ross?
It did, but one thing I was going to say, I was actually I looked it up after he said that. It's all over the place, Jabberwocky as the creature. I was shocked. Sure. It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. I always liked that poem, so I knew beware the frab just Jabberwock. So it was really interesting. But anyway, we're going to go on now to Kathy's alliteration, which she wanted me to say, because he had that expectant look of like, why isn't Ross saying my alliteration? But Kathy's great alliteration, which is petty pet peeves for persnickety pedants.
Oh, okay. Lovely. Yeah.
I know, it's very good.
Thank you. I was proud.
We're going to give you a little clue on this. We're going to give you a little quiz on this, Fletcher. We're going to ask you, number one, this is the first one. Why would someone get irritated if they heard someone else talk about how Frankenstein marauded through the village and was terrified of fire?
That's because Frankenstein was the name of the doctor, and his monster was not named Frankenstein. So it's unlikely that the doctor would be the one marauding through the village.
That's partially correct, Fletcher. But there's an error even there. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's first go.
You had the same thing where I was a little like, ooh.
I know. Thank you, Fletcher. I know. You're right.
Is it because the doctor was actually Frankenstein?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, I love that. We just watched it again. My wife had almost never seen the whole film, and Alex and I both love it. Our son,
Oh God,
Alex.
I adore it.
And I finally made her watch the whole thing, and she liked it, but didn't love it. And I think there are two types of
Ross,
people in the
I
world.
think you need a divorce.
I told her I really love her for most everything, but that one is like a huge kind of gap in our marriage. She liked it, but you have to love it, I think. But whatever.
Yes.
You are correct, Fletcher, and partially it is the name of the book is Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus, and indeed, Frankenstein is the person who brings out the monster, who is never called anything but the monster, possibly Adam, the creature.
I was going to say the Adam. I remember.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the creature, but it is not the monster.
Not Frankenstein.
And we had actually these two things we found on wisdom is knowing that Frankenstein is the monster. That's actually an interesting point. He is a monster in that he creates the monster. But I love this kid thing, which leads to our next problem with your statement earlier. Actually, Frankenstein is the punk-ass med school dropout. Which is
He's not a doctor.
He is not. That's
Yeah.
so is Victor Frankenstein a doctor? Not in the book. Nowhere in the book does it say he's the doctor of anything. In fact, they have him as a student.
Yes.
Very good.
Here's a quick quiz. Do you know where he's a student? What university he's a student of? The cat is frantically looking. I think it's the University of Ingolstadt.
I was thinking Heidelberg.
Have you guys seen the post online? It's probably made its way around everywhere, probably Reddit and the old Twitter and Blue Sky and so on, about the very end of the book Frankenstein. Have you seen this? Oh, this is lovely. I'm going to read it to you. I've got it right in front of me. So here's the printed words at the actual end of Shelley's book. He sprang from the cabin window as he said this upon the ice raft which lay close to the vessel. He was soon borne away by the waves and lost in darkness and distance. Now that's the actual end, but someone wrote in the words underneath it, as he drifted away, I could just make out his final words. It's okay if you call me Frankenstein instead of Frankenstein's monster. I really don't mind. The end.
I really like that. That's great.
Oh, that's brilliant. I wish I'd seen it.
Well, we do always call him Dr. Frankenstein, though. That's weird.
Yeah. That was a new one. I read Frankenstein in college, so it was many, many years ago. So I honestly don't remember the book. I remember not liking it particularly, but I don't know.
It was sort of.
But yeah, I'm all with the movies. I mean, I know all the movies. Yeah. So it's Dr. Frankenstein and yeah.
Yeah, no, it came later. Apparently, I think it came from Nosferatu. I'm not sure though. No, it's Nosferatu is Dracula. What am I talking about? Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean the movies. I think it came from. I don't know. Oh, this is the next question though. Who was Victor Frankenstein's first assistant?
Oh, Igor was not his first assistant. I don't know.
Well done. Actually, in the book, apparently there wasn't a real assistant. Apparently, it came from theatrical adaptation in 1823. And our author saw the show and liked it. And there was an assistant, but his name was really disappointing. Fritz.
Isn't that awful? It ain't Igor.
That's right.
And they said that initially the original film, the first Frankenstein, again, it wasn't Igor. It was just an assistant, but he wasn't Igor. And they said that in the sequels to the film, there was an Igor spelled with a Y, and he was in a blacksmith, an insane blacksmith. So,
oh, wow,
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Are we talking like the James Whale films, or even
I don't
earlier?
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're talking earlier.
Yeah. I've got one thing here on the credits. The assistant is named Fritz in James Whale's 1931 film.
Oh, it is. That's
isn't that interesting? Yeah,
It is. Fritz just doesn't do me. I got to admit.
No, Igor. Hi, Igor. I can't do it. Whatever. That's
very bad. I'm sorry, Ross. I don't
no
mean
acting
to be rude,
for me.
but
I know.
please don't do that again.
Okay, I'm leaving the show. Fine, bye. Okay, we're going to go to the next one now. Moving into Dracula. Here, what's the problem with this statement? This is from the book. Again, we're not talking about the film right now. Count Dracula rushed back to his coffin, anxious to escape the first rays of the rising morning sun.
What's wrong with this?
Well, it's a redundant thing. The rising sun. I guess the sun's always rising in the morning, but forget that part of it.
I did this very quickly, Ross. Okay.
Let's see. Well, there are only two things there. This is not actually the words from the book. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So either he was never actually called Count Dracula in the book, or he didn't actually sleep in a coffin.
No.
Well, you had three. You got two out of the three.
What was the third one?
In the books, he's not afraid of, and he doesn't die in daylight. He can go out in the sun.
Oh wow, really?
Actually, in the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula, he's out in the sun.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, he can't. Yeah. The key thing with he's not wild about the sun, but apparently, like he can change in the sun. He can't change into anything, and he's slightly weakened. But in the morning, the rising sun, and the afternoon at noon, and in the evening, he can change into bats or wolves or whatever. But the sun is not great for him. He's not wild about it, but it's not horrible. He can't change.
Huh.
Now we're going to move away from monsters and to another petty, pedantic peeve.
This is your favorite pet peeve, I think, isn't it?
And we've talked about this before,
yes.
I know. So you're going to know this, Fletcher. Why do so many people in the know wince when someone refers to Byron's famous poem, Don Juan? This is a gimme.
we have talked about this one before because it's Don Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Very good.
And that's not just what I learned, having not really read it, or if I have, I hadn't remembered. What you told me was that there are parts in the poem that rhyme with Juan. It's not just that he says the title funny.
Right, correct.
It's an integral part of the poem itself.
Juan rhymes with true one. Yes.
Yeah, that's how you know it's pronounced, because you can't say he is not the true one. I'll take our friend Don Juan.
No, exactly.
Well, yeah.
I did love. We mentioned this, but I do it again. Most people do think Don Juan, obviously, and you do sound like a bit of a tit when you go Don Juan. But I love the fact that Byron, when he was talking with friends, wrote to friends, he called him Donnie Johnny.
Yeah, I like that too.
I thought that gets around the whole problem.
Okay, the next one quickly, I think you probably know this. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Kathy and I love this one because I think we both learned this distinction reading Peanuts comics when we were little kids. Because Linus explains to Lucy that wherefore means why. And I love Lucy's response. Now that I know that, what do I do?
Yeah. Right, because she's not asking, where are you, Romeo? She's asking, why are you, Romeo?
Yes.
Right.
Why?
That always got me, because if you look at it, there's no comma. So, I mean, it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Right, sure. I mean, it's not obvious if you don't know that wherefore means why. But,
yeah, true.
But,
well, there is that.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think within the larger context of what she's saying there, where are you, Romeo, doesn't make a lot of sense though.
Mm-mm.
But that was like the basis of so many bad comedic sketches. I remember, yeah.
But this was a case where the cart became before the horse, though, because I knew wherefore art thou Romeo before I ever really knew the play. So.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, next, while we're on Shakespeare, many people say, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well.
Ah.
What is the actual line, the correct line from Hamlet?
I knew him, Horatio.
Yes.
Correct.
Very good.
Yeah. Where did the well come from? I wonder. Because it's not like you take a lot of liberties with Shakespeare when you perform it, you know?
I don't know.
Well,
That's a good go, Ross.
he knew Horatio. So presumably, I think the one thing that sort of gets me is I think it's one of those statements where the I knew him well sounds a lot better than I knew him Horatio. And it can be more
because I can say it to you
yeah.
Otherwise I'm talking to Horatio and it seems weird.
Yeah, and I think that's where it came into. It's like people sort of chucking it out as a normal statement, in a general way, and I think that's where it came in. That's my guess.
Yeah, it's sort of more quotable. Because you really need to have the whole thing, the fellow of infinite jest, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and you don't want to go on and on quoting, Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I might want
get
to.
on with it.
Now that I know that, what do I do?
I guess that's a pretty good solution, though, if you really, really want to say, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, that, to change the word instead of having Horatio there. Mm-hmm. And just saying I knew him feels a little incomplete for some reason.
It does.
Yeah, it feels like truncated. It does.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder where the first instance of I knew him well was.
Well, that's a good question. And I wish you hadn't asked it because we don't know.
Okay, Kath, you want to move to another one of your pet? You have a lot of pet peeves, I have to say, Kath.
I'm a cranky little person, Ross.
Here's another one of Kathy's pet peeves that she trots out upon occasion. So go to it, Catherine.
What?
Oh, right here, right below our, yes.
Oh, but that didn't really fit because that's biblical. I didn't think that was just because now I live in Spain and there's so many Catholic holidays.
Yeah, but that's like, it's writing. People write about this and they, okay.
This is a question for you. Immaculate Conception.
Oh, sure. You want to know what that is?
Technically means?
People think it means the virgin birth, but the Immaculate Conception was actually the conception of Mary, right?
Correct. Very good.
Without sin. Yes.
Without sin.
With no original sin. Yeah, because that's the thing. Because we have here, there's there's Assumption Day and I forget the other one. There's the big one, the big Mary Day, and that's a pet peeve of mine because people automatically think it's the virgin birth, but that's a very different thing. Mary's it.
Moving on to the penultimate, which is not the ultimate, the penultimate. Kath and I were basically going back and forth, like what are your literary pet peeves? What are they? And Kath goes, here's one. Elementary, my dear Watson, never appears in William Conan Bryan.
I've been said.
Famous author William Conan Bryan.
And we were debating, does she mean William Cullen Bryant or Arthur Conan Doyle? It's sort of a mashup.
I have a knack for that. You got it since I've been a kid. I have a real knack for mangling.
Is there any William Conan? We couldn't find any William Conan Bryan, though. So anyway.
But had there been one, Elementary, my dear Watson would not have appeared.
No.
He does say elementary, though, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He does. He says elementary, but he never addresses Watson that way with elementary. They say that the phrase actually was popularized in all the adaptations, especially Basil Rathbone, of course. So
yeah.
But the interesting thing here, going back to the last poor Yorick, I knew him well. Again, elementary, my dear Watson, is really iconic, and it's a really good phrase. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happened. I mean, I think what happens is people slightly improve. They tinker with literature, and they improve it to some degree. Elementary, my dear Watson, is wonderful to keep hearing it, and it's a shame that he hadn't written it. Which reminds us of this last... brilliant segue, you have to admit, Kathy. Our last, play it again, Sam, or play it, Sam.
I that's the one I kept thinking to bring up this entire time, but since we were talking about literature instead of films, I never did. Yeah, so in Casablanca, Ilsa tells. Well, actually, they both say it. But so anyway, how much of this should I explain? There's a particular song. There's a particular song that's so very important to Rick and Ilsa, which is Humphrey Bogart and
you must remember this.
Ingrid Bergman.
It's just a kiss.
All right, nice, Catherine. Yeah.
And at some point, one or the other of them, both at various times, say, "Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by." That's what Ilsa
Right.
says.
Mhm.
And then I think later on Rick tells him to play it, but neither one of them ever says, "Play it again, Sam."
Correct. But
And
that's
again-
become the iconic phrase.
And again, play it again, Sam, is better because it harkens back to the idea of the past and the future mingling. And it's really interesting because as we go through this, a couple of these changes are I don't think Jabberwock and Jabberwocky is good. It should be Jabberwock. But I think play it again, Sam is better than play it, Sam. And alas, poor Yorick.
I agree if what you are doing is taking them out of context and using them in your conversation. I don't think play it again, Sam
works in the film.
Necessarily works better within the film.
That's a good point, Fletcher and Kathy, because it doesn't really, you're right, actually, when I think about it. I think Elementary, My Dear Watson does work better in the books. I think you guys are right, though, about play it again, Sam. It doesn't make any difference, really.
No, because play it, especially because when Rick is saying, he's like saying, you played it for her, I can take it and play it, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
That was my drunken Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
I have a career ahead of me if I ever want to stop writing.
But you know, the elementary, My Dear Watson, that one makes it's easier to deal with in my head because we change words from books all the time. But Shakespeare, like, you're not going to perform it as play it again, Sam. You're not going to perform it as alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well. Like you read the words on the page with Shakespeare, don't you? I mean, as far as I know.
Well, you're supposed to, yeah.
Yeah. And so like that taking that out of context and using it in your everyday conversation, I get the well, but I still wonder more how that one popped up. The elementary, My Dear Watson, you know, they're writing a screenplay or a stage play or whatever. Out of the words from the book, and so you're going to change everything then. I don't know. It just something I think there's a distinction between the two.
I think you're right, actually. Okay, so now we just finished Sam. Let's play it again, Fletcher. We're going to return to a feature we always enjoy testing you on. The weird and wonderful world. God, I was really alliterative that day.
Yes, you were.
Of word relatives. It's time for Related or Not.
Okay, very good, Kathy. You really are a very good alliterator. I don't know.
Alliterator.
Okay, the first is tulip and turban. Related or not?
Tulip and turban. You can definitely imagine how they are related. Let's say yes.
Well, Fletcher, let's say you're right. It was really interesting. And they're exactly the same word. And the word comes basically from Persian, dulband, and then it came into Turkish, I don't know if these pronunciations are correct, tulbent, and then into French, tulip or tulipan. But dulband in Turkish in Persian meant turban as well. So then it came in two different phases. The first phase apparently came as tulip, but it also came in another phase where it was directly translated into turban.
Well, turban, the thing is, though, because the tulip got its name because the tulip looks like a turban.
Like a turban, yeah, exactly.
Because it's all like folded. Oh,
that's right. You're right. Yeah.
I assumed that one got its name because it looked like the other one, but I certainly didn't know which one would have come first. So that's interesting. The flower looks like a turban, so that's why it got the name turban, tulip.
In Persian, yeah. And then both words came into Europe at different times.
Yeah, split. Wow, that's really neat.
Yeah. And then when the meanings diverged, the French changed it to turbant, and then the tulip one was tulip, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So moving on to another tradition, treason, and trade.
Sounds like a song.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Baubles, bangles, and beads.
No, it does actually. Don't sing it though, please, Kathy. Or hum it. Yeah.
Tradition, treason, and trade. All three related? Wow. I mean, I guess you're going to tell me yes, but I can't make it happen in my head why that would be the case. Explain it to me.
Okay, this is really cool because when you think about it, can you think of any? You can't because you just asked. You can't. So they all come back. They all come back from a root word in Latin, tradere, to turn over, or to turn. You see what I'm saying? It's like so. Basically, you have like tradition. You're turning over, which becomes transmission. Which is tradition. It's now traditionally been turned over. Treason. You're turning away. You're turning away from your country. Trade, you're trading your loyalty to another country, or you're trading goods to another person or whatever.
Turning it over.
Yeah. Tradere. I think it's tradere. Yeah. It is.
I don't quite get treason, to be honest with you. I mean,
treason?
The trading over aspects of that.
Actually, I think you're right. Treason seems to be more. I think, Catherine, you're right.
I wasn't trying to find fault. I just don't understand.
Well, I think you did find fault, and you did a very good job of finding fault. Treason comes from, I just looked it up. It's from trans, which is Latin, which is then dare. So it's basically to give over. You're turning over your country. You're delivering up your country.
Ah, I see. You're handing it over to the enemy, in effect.
Wow, Catherine, your Latin is getting better and better.
I tell you. I don't know how it happens.
No, you caught me in a Latin mistake. You're right, completely.
But it does still come from the root word tradere.
I'm now going to... Okay, it does still? Okay, good.
Yes.
No, it doesn't, because trodere, wait a minute. No, I think you're...
I'm seeing here, it comes from the Latin word traditio, meaning a giving up, handing over, which comes from the verb tradere, which means to hand over.
Okay, I feel better now. I'm not... Actually, Fletcher, see, we're giving you these lectures on what to do about Latin, and we're wrong on a lot of times now, it seems. Catherine's Latin. Catherine, why don't you just do this next talk in Latin so we can keep going?
Oh gosh, look at this. I think my computer is something went very wrong here.
Okay, another one, Fletcher. This one is easier. Convey and convoy.
Oh, that seems easy to connect. So I guess, yes, they are related. And no, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Okay, good.
They both come from the Latin conviare, Ross?
Is it convenire?
I have it as conviare.
Oh, you're right. Vulgar Latin conviare. You're right. That's vulgar Latin.
I'm a vulgar Latin. Kind of person. What can I say?
Oh, Kathy, you're right. It comes with via would be con would be with. It would be from originally con, then it would assimilate, and then via is road. Kathy is completely correct. Again, you've corrected my Latin, Catherine, twice.
I don't know what's going on here. It's like Freaking Friday. But it's a Saturday. Never mind. Yes, but they are related. They both come from the same root. When did they diverge, Ross? I mean, how did they diverge? One came from...
the old French convoyer, to go together on the road. And then the other...
That was convey, though.
Convey. And then the other, they're both late 14th century, Kath.
Yeah.
So they didn't, I mean, they converged at the same, they diverged at the same time, really, in terms of meaning, it seems. The problem with that, though, is it's really difficult to figure. I mean, we don't have tape recorders in 13th century or 14th century France, so we can't really be too sure when, but that seems to be the case. Mm-hmm. Now, this next one is really interesting. This one, this is actually in defense of the problems we have with Latin or word origins. Pen and pencil.
Oh, pen and pencil. Seems obvious they would be related. But no, those aren't related.
You're right.
Or I'm going to add maybe right.
Right, of course.
Kath, why don't you explain the difference right now? And I'm going to try to find my reference here.
Okay, a pencil initially was a paintbrush with a very pointy little tapered end, and it went back to the Latin penicillus for paintbrush.
Yes.
Penicillus, thank you. Pen goes back to the Latin penna for feather, because that's what the original pens were, like a quill. Mm-hmm. So you have penna, feather, pen, penicillus, paintbrush, pencil.
Penicul. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't really listening. Peniculus. Yes.
Penicillus. Peniculus.
Yes.
It's
Peniculus.
illus.
Yeah. Peniculus. Yes. Peniculus. But here we have a problem. You may be right. Now, where did the pencil? Kathy said, what was the word you said, Catherine? Here, peniculus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Peniculus is a brush or a sponge. Now, apparently, this is going to be. It comes from an original word in Latin, can I say it or not? Penis, Penis.
Oh.
Which is tail, or in English, penis. And then from there, little tail became a pencil. Now, the question we have I have the very authoritative Latin etymological dictionary right here. And the question is, there's a big conflict in Latin chronology of this word. First of all, because tail seems to be older than penis, and then they're wondering, did tail come from an old Latin word pesnis, pesna, or penna, or did it come from penna? We don't know. So they could be related, and they may not be related. So
Wow.
Fletcher,
I say they're not.
well, Catherine, I'm beginning to
way.
defer to you. I'm going to defer to your Latin expertise at this point. You may very well be right. So.
Okay, the next one is grammar, which we speak about, and glamour, which we all have.
Oh.
Grammar
like
and glamour.
No, those aren't related. That's silly.
Fletcher.
Fletcher, here you were wrong. Grammar and glamour are related, and everyone knows, and Kathy and I certainly do, that studying grammar is a very glamorous profession.
Just look how we're dressed. That I think was fascinating, because I would never have thought of it. The thing is that grammar came from where is it?
Well, it's from the Greek grammatike, which is the art of techne in Greek is like a art or construction or building things. So it's the art of letters. And then in ancient Greek and in Latin time, grammaticos or grammaticus became someone who was learned in letters. And grammar basically had a much broader definition in those times.
And then glamour came about in the 1700s. I mean, they say actually it was an alteration of grammar, because
the word
meant, like, then grammar was any sort of scholarship, but specifically occult sort of things, like your alchemy, your all of that thing. So glamour became a word. They think it was popularized by Sir Walter Scott, but he wasn't the first one to use it.
Oh, no, that's true, Kat. I mean, to go into that, glamour apparently was popularized by him, but it's apparently, you're right, it was used a long time before that.
And it meant a magic, enchantment, or spell. It was an alteration of the grammar that they were using to refer to that learned sort of spell making, magical alchemy stuff.
Right. Which we do all the time here in our show, a little bit of spellbinding.
A little bit of magic.
But that's the whole thing, because we forget often nowadays that glamour initially was magic or enchantment. It was not like looking like hotsy-totsy, movie star-y glamour.
But you can see how it came, though. I mean, you can see how it works in that sense. Like the occult, then suddenly you're knowledgeable, suddenly you know more, suddenly you're more beautiful, you're better, you're attractive, and then it goes into Hollywood. What we didn't realize, or at least I didn't, I think, Kath, you probably did, but I didn't really realize that it was so recent in terms of glamour with Hollywood. I think you said you did.
Oh yeah, because you would cast a glamour, i.e. a spell, and make yourself beautiful or do this or that, and that's where you started getting the notion of glamour being beauty. But that didn't start until like the later 1800s, mid 1800s.
No, but in terms of Hollywood, though, apparently it was like it's sort of late in Hollywood. That's what got me.
Oh yeah, that was the 30s.
Yeah, because I thought it would have been like from the first films, or acting and all of that. I would have thought glamour would have been earlier, from the stage and all of that. I didn't know. That was interesting. Okay, capital and capital. Now, we pronounce them roughly similarly, but it's AL capital and OL capital. Are they related or not?
Well, they've got to be related somewhere back there. Maybe they diverged at some point, but I mean, they both must be related to the head or something, right?
Well, this is yeah, exactly.
That's all I really wanted was kind of.
It seems that they possibly are. Let's put it that way, as Kathy said. It could come from the Latin caput, which means head, caput, which means head, and then Capitol Hill in Washington comes from that. But we're not sure if it really does, which is a problem.
Well, Capitol Hill, they said, was named after the how do you pronounce that?
Capitoline Hill.
Capitoline. Thank you.
But the question with that, though, is Capitoline Hill related to
the head or not?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because they say it looks like you could say like it comes out of the ground like a big head, right? A hill.
Yeah.
That seems really weak to me.
It does. I know. But I think it's really interesting, though, because, again, we go back to the real problems with studying language. We have no guys with tape recorders talking. How'd you get this? How'd you get the idea for calling this that? We don't know. That's what we think. I think it makes a lot of sense, actually.
That they're related.
Yeah.
I mean, because the capital AL is coming from the head. We know that.
Yes. Yes.
Did we say that? It is from caput.
Yes.
I love the fact that using capital in the British way, like, oh, capital. Does anyone say that anymore? I don't even know.
I don't know. Old movies, they do. You're right.
Yeah, I just thought of that. But I just saw this, that came about in 1754. They think it came from ships in battle. Capital.
I didn't know. That's really,
yeah.
That's a good ending for the show. Capital.
You're Saying It Wrong is part of the NPR network and is produced in the studios of KMUW in Wichita, Kansas by me, Fletcher Powell. Kathy Petrus records from her home in Armia, Spain. Ross Petrus from his home in Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Torrin Anderson composed our theme music. Our digital team is Beth Golay and Carly Cooper. Carly Cooper is also our video editor. You can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can find all of our past episodes by subscribing to the You're Saying It Wrong podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or by visiting us at kmuw.org. If you have a question for Kathy and Ross, if you'd like to suggest a topic, or you just want to reach out, you can email me at powell@kmuw.org, or email them at kandrpetrus@gmail.com. You can find all of their books pretty much anywhere you get books, and a handful of them are also available on audiobook, read by the authors themselves. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.